It doesn't work.
That's the problem.
It doesn't work. Pointing out a little
The killing argument away.
it doesn't work anymore. I think a lot of people have woken up and realised that actually, you can be right wing, you can be left wing, right? You can be whatever you want on the political spectrum. But actually, letting people die in the Mediterranean
It's good for business.
isn't very British.
It's good for business.
Frankly, I don't think it is good for business. I think that's dead wrong. I think that's dead wrong. Actually, I think it's very, very good for business. And actually, lots of British businesses have come out and have spoken very strongly in favour of the European Union, staying in the European Union. Why? Because they recognise the value of immigration. So actually, I've said this time before, like. Immigration is good for businesses, it's good for big businesses, it's good for small businesses, it's good for private individuals, and it's good for the immigrants. Everyone's a winner. The reason why we don't have it is because right-wing authoritarianism sells papers.
No, it's because you're living in a democracy. I'm
Yes,
afraid
and
that's
the people of
bottom
our
line.
democracy have spent 20 years reading papers,
That doesn't matter.
media.
That
It
doesn't
does-
matter. That's just a symptom of democracy.
It matters hugely. We have a
Democracy and economics are always going to be at loggerheads. They're always.
Our free press is owned. I'm not going to be a conspiracy theorist.
Yes, you are. Yeah, that's exactly what you're going to be.
I'm not going to be. Who owns it? Lots of different people own it. We shouldn't be surprised. I'm not surprised. I don't think this is necessarily a bad thing. But they want to sell papers. Right-wing authoritarianism. That sells papers. We've had that. We've had that for 20 years. Okay. The Daily Mail. Look, I'll take the Daily Mail as a classic example. There is a website called Daily Mail Cures Cancer, right? And they have a Venn diagram, and on the left they have all the things the Daily Mail says cures cancer, and on the right they have all the things the Daily Mail says cures cancer, and there are things in the middle. There are things that the Daily Mail has said both cure and cause cancer. It's insane. So we shouldn't pretend that these newspapers aren't lying to people.
No, hold on.
If they want to lie, I mean, I'm informed.
They don't couch it in those terms. They say scientists claim.
They do. They use their weasel words. They get out of their libel laws. I understand this. And you know what? Ultimately, they are.
That sounds like a free press to me.
Ultimately, I agree. So again, these guys aren't letting me finish. They don't want to hear the end. I agree. Free press is fine.
Go on, man.
I've got a bus to catch. Come on.
Will you hurry up and finish yourself off?
Yeah, can you get
You
the
don't
end?
have to stay, sir.
Can you get the end? I'm trying to find out what you're all about.
I think I'll sum it up. I think we should have more immigration. I think we should have more.
More immigration,
No.
yes.
The Democrat.
Will you take some?
Go away, man. England's in America.
More immigration to Islington North.
England's in
Why
America.
not?
My along Sunday was in favour.
If you want England, go to Australia.
Our own children, our own kids who need a roof over their head before we look overseas. We need to look after our own people.
We are the seventh largest economy in the world. Incredibly wealthy. We are. It's massively
Yes,
prosperous.
yes.
There are still people who say we need more. We'd like more.
Yes.
Right? We spent 200 years stripping.
Because he's an
We're not
idiot.
sure what Mr. Corbyn did.
I don't think he should,
I
is
think
he?
he was in the toilet a long time.
It's like it's crazy. It's crazy that people won't engage. They won't engage.
Right.
It's not. But it's not about that. We've already heard this. You're not even listening. We've already heard this argument. I've already dealt with
Can you
it.
get to the end? Can you get to the end?
Can you go now? You can go. You can go before the end if you like. We'll all be a lot happier.
Get to the end because I'm
Let go now.
coming the way you're coming from.
How long's the train back to? How long's the train back to Whitby Bay, mate? It's fine now. You've got to leave now. Whitby Bay,
Think
no.
I'm scared of them?
Glasgow. Wow, yeah.
Listen, go to
You're an immigrant in this country. Great nation of Scotland. Aren't you? Didn't you want to leave?
The last time I looked,
Did you
Scotland
vote?
was part of the United
Did you vote
Kingdom.
to stay in the United
That
Kingdom?
was this morning. Has it changed in the last hour?
I wish it would.
You should get up and just check. Scotland still.
I do.
So you're
Check your phone.
Maybe we can exclude Scotland from more immigration. Maybe I want immigration from countries other than Scotland.
But no one wants to immigrate this shit.
What's immigration?
No one wants to immigrate to Scotland. This right?
Are you saying that you're happy with any number? What if?
No, you've already had this. I'll do it again.
No.
I'll do it. I'm
Any
going to get a
number.
sign up.
So you're
for all-
saying there
all the
should be a
questions I-
limit on immigration? Is that what you're saying?
There
There should be some kind of limit.
No,
There should be a limit per year. So it's flux, it's
How many?
change.
10 million a year, yeah.
10 million? No.
That's a good number.
How many then?
I think you might be high if you think 10 million is a good number.
I am high.
How many?
I would say 50,000 is a pretty good number.
So
And
5 million, are you
what
happy with that?
criteria do we apply to those people?
Refugee status mostly.
So
Yeah, I was just saying stuff. Well, actually, refugees can work as well. If we allow them to.
They can't. Not the first year, 18 months.
That's good, isn't it?
But we don't respect that.
Because they're lazy. That's
I agree. That's what kind of like. Agree. Well, we have. So I would agree. So if we've got, the problem is we've got a failed European policy, right? And that's partly France, Germany, Britain, and partly the Baltic countries as well. And if we'd led, I think we'd have a better EU immigration policy, and we wouldn't have this situation where only Sweden and Germany are taking in 1 million migrant seats, right? Which isn't sustainable. Even people like me who are pro-immigration, but there are lots of problems associated with the very high rate of immigration that's happened in East Germany and parts of southern Sweden in the last 2 years. It just doesn't work, right? But if we'd shared that out across the whole of the European Union, then it would work. But we failed politically, right? I think that's a very fair thing to say. I mean, look, ultimately refugees can be economic migrants as well. They have the capacity to work, they have the capacity to contribute. And then on economics, it's about the way the debate is framed. I'm not some raving, frothing in the mouth lefty who wants to bring everyone in like day one. I think it's very easy to characterise me as that, probably because I look young and these guys just only like to look at old people, right? But, I mean, I think that's what it is. I think you guys treat older speakers very differently. You don't talk down to them in the same way. It's very interesting. Whatever. I don't mind. I'm used to it by
You need
now.
to go and practice before you come back down next week.
Bit of yoga, yeah.
No, just, get yourself a ladder, get in your sitting room, practice quick.
Yeah, man. I've got a job. I don't live on benefits, like.
Well, I don't live on benefits, I'm your social worker.
Are you?
Yeah. You've got delusions.
Delivered with great timing, mate.
Delusions are grand.
Fantastic.
same thing.
So yeah, you're right. We need to separate those two out. What's happened actually is the discourse, particularly in the media, and in between people outside of the media, the discourse has become very muddled. We've actually mixed up those two things. We now just talk about migrants, and migrants is an umbrella term. Pardon?
The British people are muddled.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they're stupid. They're stupid.
I don't believe they're stupid. I believe that people have deliberately set out. I believe there is a hardcore in the Conservative Party who are interested in the EU. Let me finish. In the EU debate because they're interested in sovereignty. I don't blame them for that. They are very, very interested in sovereignty. There's a long history of sovereignty in this country. That's their prerogative to have that political view. I believe that this is what UKIP did. UKIP were quite open about doing this. They took that issue of sovereignty and they wrapped it up in immigration, and they used immigration as a traditional way to.
Unlike Tony Blair, Gordon Brown, and now Jeremy Corbyn,
I know-
who's hijacking immigration
The
to
same as
further
the
their
Labour
political
Party
ambition.
just want all the European employment laws brought in through the back door because they're never going to form a government again to be able to get it through Parliament anyway.
I'm not here speaking about the EU. I agree. Like it's fundamentally undemocratic. It's fucked. But yeah, fine. It's not what it's about. It's about looking at people who is mostly. I'm more interested in refugees. I think the argument about immigrants is mostly an argument about good policy. It's mostly an argument about good integration policy, and we have models for that in places in Europe.
The United Kingdom voted to control it. It just needs control.
It's not true. Everybody out there thinks that we voted for a different thing on the EU referendum. You may think that we voted.
You might have voted on
So what do we vote for then?
We voted on the European Union. That was the question on the ballot. I'm not willing to speculate on what everyone had at the back of their mind when they voted. I think that one thing that did happen, one thing that I actually do support, is that we can stop saying, okay, this French person, well, let me finish. One thing that I do support about, I was pro-Remain, but one thing I liked about the Leave campaign, elements of the Leave campaign, is they were able to say, let me finish, they were able to say, we will have, let me finish, we will have the same immigration policy, we will have the same, let me finish.
Democratic deficit. That's not economy or
We will have the same,
is it? That's
Go on, carry on.
it's just the same old shit. We will have the same immigration policy from someone coming from Ghana, someone coming from France, someone coming from Japan, right? And I actually think that's a good thing. The EU was stopping us doing that. So, maybe I'm on your side on some of these issues, but the issue is like, what's our attitude towards immigration? We've ceased to see immigration as a good thing, when categorically, study after study after study shows that when immigration is done right, it's a good thing. We have an aging population in this country. We have falling productivity in this country. Fewer young people to care for people, to do difficult jobs. Who's going to do these jobs? Who is going to do these jobs?
Then why doesn't the country educate the population? And the circumstances
We
that
already
it faces?
educate the population. We
Why
have
doesn't the
education-
government have massive public programs like Dream Driving and all the rest to say, look, we need more babies, we need more young people to pay the pensions? Why doesn't it do that?
Because no one's having sex, man.
ultimately, that
Why doesn't the government put a policy in place?
I don't-
Why isn't that
you
all
can't-
over?
you can't
Why
force
isn't that
someone
in
to have
every
sex.
second advert on the
Let me
BBC?
let me just relay that question. Everyone who didn't hear it. This gentleman wants to know why the government doesn't run adverts to encourage people to have sex
Yeah.
Yes,
and have more babies.
yes.
Mostly because that's manic. Like,
No, it
it's-
isn't. It isn't. They tried it in Japan.
So the reality of it is mostly what's driving the low birth
They're
rate
actually
against.
doing it in
Hey,
Switzerland.
come on, let me do
They're
it.
doing it in
It's
Switzerland.
Denmark as well. Mostly what's driving the low birth rate is nothing to do with any of these things.
Homosexuality. No, I'm joking.
No, it's nothing to do with that. It's the fact that people are choosing to have children when they're older.
Because they're stupid.
They're not stupid at all. It's a perfectly reasonable thing to do. Most men and women are choosing to have children later in life, which means they have fewer children, and some of them miss the opportunity to have children. That's their prerogative. I personally believe people can do what they want. I'm in favour of free citizens who make free choices. Right? That's one of the reasons why I'm in favour of immigration, because I believe that if your government is treating you badly, if your government is torturing you,
Do what you want.
do I what?
You can believe that people should do what they want.
I believe they know what's best for them. I believe individuals know what's best for them. And when a person in one country is being belittled and abused and exploited in their country, they withdraw their service to that country. They say, I'm no longer part of this country, and you move to another country. And that's part of making governments accountable. When they perform badly, when they abuse their citizens, they sometimes there's revolution, but sometimes there's a brain drain. Sometimes the most entrepreneurial in society, they say, I'm not having this anymore. I won't be abused by you. I won't be put down by you. I'm going to another country. It's happening with Iran right now. All the intellectuals in Iran, it's happening with Turkey of late because of Erdogan's crackdown on intellectuals. They're leaving. That's the punishment for bad government. If you do bad government, it's like if you do bad business. You run a bad business, your customers will walk down the street and they'll go to another business. And the same should be true in the international market. When you're bad government, your citizens, if we had more free movement, in both directions, if we had more free movement, we'd have more people leaving the United Kingdom. So that would actually sort out some of these reasons.
There's more girls.
So who's going to argue for that in Westminster?
Well, I'm arguing for it right now. In Westminster.
We're not in
You want to deal in the politics, you want to deal in the day-to-day
power.
politics.
Unfortunately, our culture is pointed.
So I think the
The
first
reason we have a democracy is certain people have power. We put them in power. There's no one going to be making that argument in Parliament.
I agree.